saw dead roots on this one, but are they different?
Yeah, probably. So you feel this is squishy. Okay. And here's a live root, and it's turgid, and it's green inside.
So this is dead?
Yeah, that's a dead one too. Sometimes they'll fool you though. Sometimes they will
How
fool
about
you.
squishy?
Squishy I got. Squishy I can deal with.
Difference, but yeah.
You don't want to trim all the roots off, but you can take the oldest and the dead roots off.
Ah,
Like I'm doing. See now that right down here is where the oldest part of the plant is. Look at where the roots are coming out. You can see they come out from the base of the pseudobulb, of the cane. This is a dendrobium, and we call these canes.
This one's fairly easy
Okay.
to
So those aren't pseudobulbs, they're canes?
They are, but they're elongated, so we call them
and
canes.
this looks like a bit of wire, I think. This is,
So.
this is
No, it has a
wire.
root on the inside.
Yeah.
And is that the right size pot? Should it be a little bit bigger?
Yeah, because no, dendrobiums like to be
This root
underpotted,
is
so this is
already dried
probably a pretty good size. Okay.
Interesting.
How about a question on that point? Are there any orchids that demand a big pot? I think almost all orchids, the smaller the pot, the better.
Well, when you're considering epiphytes, they want to dry out because they're up on a tree and their roots are exposed to some degree. So when it rains, they dry out pretty quick. You know? Okay. So we don't want to put them in a big pot because that leaves the medium wet in the middle all the time, and they want to dry out because they need air at the roots every so often. So if we put them in a big pot, then that stays wet and it rots down in the middle, and you lose the value of some of your potting medium because it would last longer if it dried out in between on a regular basis.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay, so
You said they need air. What do you mean by need air?
they need air. They're epiphytes. The roots grow on the tree barks.
But what chemical process is at work in the difference between being wet and dry?
Well, the air dries out the roots,
No, I know
So they
that.
don't
Yeah.
rot?
so they don't rot. But now in a monsoon situation, which this would come from, part of the year is going to be like here in September and October, and it will rain and rain, and then what these like, generally speaking, here's a live root tip.
Oh yeah.
What we generally want for them to do is not stay wet all the time because they can't breathe. They got to come up for air every once in a while, just by the way they're designed. So, but dendrobiums like to be wet and then dry off, wet and dry off.
So in the dry season,
Look, here's a nice, really nice green root tip.
in the dry season, what should I do with this?
What you want to do is look up. There's a lot of different dendrobiums, and they come from a lot of different areas, and there's different sections of them that have morphologically they're different. So they need to sometimes be grown in different ways from another section. Some need a dry off and get bright and get cool. Some need a dry off and stay warm. Some need to be cool but stay wet, or wet and dry. So it depends on what area they come from and how they live in that arrangement, because there's also all different kinds of habitats. Okay, so I would have put some pot shards down in here, like broken pot or something, for about 1/3 of the
There
distance.
might be some in here.
Well, we don't want to use that really
Because it's been used.
Because it's been
Because
probably
it's-
contaminated.
It's probably contaminated.
Now, what about styrofoam in the bottom?
Yeah, we use styrofoam peanuts. Then if there's a consideration, there's a consideration that the plant is really heavy, you probably want to sometimes you can put stones, river stones in the bottom.
Okay. The ones we got at the Orchimex, they have macadamia shells. I don't
Okay.
know where they're getting tons of macadamia
Because they
shells.
grow,
'cause-
they have plantations here.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they were.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Oh, yeah,
they
up
were
in,
here.
yeah, up north, they have some huge
Okay,
plantations
let's
as well.
show how this
Macadamia.
does that.
That makes sense.
Okay,
Okay.
you know the potting things
Till
we call
around there, I
Eskimo
did.
peanuts.
Down lower around, so you get around that
That are
kind of in
curved
there.
like an S.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. And I would fill this up about 1/3 full, and then you want to keep the pot whole, put something over it that's a little range under it, but won't block it. Okay. You have more, you said?
Uh-huh. Hold on.
We got all the time in the world, don't we? We're all
I
retired.
don't know how long the video is.
Yeah, that's what I tell my husband.
Mostly,
We're
right?
gonna zzz down the road. Like we have appointments or something. never supposed to be untied anyway.
River rock works well. Sometimes you can put the stones that, like we would dig up in Florida, that's what they mine phosphate from, or even calcium-based stones.
How about just gravel?
You can use
That I
gravel
pick up
too.
out of my driveway.
Yeah. Wash it off, and
Pea
maybe you would probably want to run it through a rinse of Clorox, just to kill any spores and things on it. Yeah, that's about good. Yeah, that will do it. Okay, so now we're going to put some medium on top of it. Just kind of hold it down. It's nice it's got charcoal in it.
Yeah, I've seen charcoal before too.
Yeah. Now, I used to make a mix with styrofoam peanuts, charcoal, and perlite, and milled sphagnum, which is why I was asking for milled sphagnum on mine the other day, because the sphagnum keeps it moist, and when the roots get into it, then the rest of it holds up really well.
What is perlite exactly?
Like, we'll see, just a second here. So,
You can't use some of this scoop?
what, the sphagnum?
Yeah.
No, we're going to use this, because this one wants to dry out in between really well.
Okay.
See how it's different? There's so many little quirks about orchids. It
Right.
Yeah,
starts-
because each type needs a kind of a different.
Yes, it needs a different base.
Only if you hang out with Paul.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Only if you want to grow
But you
good
know
orchids.
what? But you know what? If you read the books that he gives you, they say the same thing too. So I guess it kind of backs him up.
Yeah.
You think he knows what he's talking about after all?
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't bring the
I've
orchids
had lots
dummy
of
book.
practice killing
Yeah.
orchids, so I
Yeah.
don't do that when I
Yeah.
find out it works that way. Okay. Now we'll put our eyes on flipping.
See, this is even going to look good.
I know this is exciting.
Okay,
And
this
this
needs to
was
go
a-
down. You should leave a little bit of a lip in here. It should be about an inch below the top. Okay, which I didn't do. Okay, and that way, when you water it, once the roots have taken over completely, when you water it, then the water will hold inside there.
So they give this photo.
I'm really surprised. That looks like that's packed in there. You know?
This one I packed in, but it's gonna drain really nicely.
This is so cool. Now, this was outside.
Can you hold it right there, Paul? Hold it right there. There you go.
So I'm thinking I'm going to put this in a tree outside, Paul, hang it.
Yeah, hang on.
It's
Like
to
that.
hold it down.
Turn it over.
Otherwise it'll take off. It'll fall over. And it'll move. Well, the point was it's not...
Now, because I'm putting all this on it because
damages
it
the roots.
is so, the wire is so
So it
so
can't-
lightweight, and so we're just, it's like wrapping
Extra insurance.
extra insurance. If you let go now, let me see what it's doing.
That is superb.
Isn't that great?
That is really neat.
I will put a picture of the flower on the website because I do have a photo.
Now,
of
I
it,
don't-
and that's how we identified it.
I don't normally put this many rhizome clips on it, but because it's lighter wire, I want to do that just to make
So
sure.
this is not the 16 gauge.
No, this is probably 14 gauge, wouldn't you say, roughly?
Yeah, probably 14.
Just act like we know it.
12. 12 is what you want.
12 is thicker than this.
Oh, yeah, they-
Now, I want to
smaller
do
than
something else here, see if I can do it. I may turn out to be a total failure on this, but we'll see.
Gonna make a hanger.
No, not yet. Something's down in, oh, you had a worm in there somewhere.
For crying out loud.
Okay.
Do they like worms?
There's a spider in
To
there.
the turtle, to the turtle.
There may be.
They're hungry.
Careful, honey, this is on.
There
are real hazards living next to a zoo, aren't there?
Well, you get some benefits as well. You get your own zoo.
Okay, I'm making a baby ring.
You're watching the door?
A baby ring, they call them that. They're usually made with heavier wire too.
No, we don't need that.
Okay.
Stainless. Bought it 15 years ago.
But it's not sterile.
Huh?
It's not sterile.
Oh, no. No. No.
Don't want that one.
No.
Oh, look at that.
See?
Can you make necklaces too?
No, I don't do that.
Wow, that's beautiful.
If you want to.
Only if it's with an orchid. Let's see. Which way does that? That's going that way, so that's going to be
Ah.
there. So.
I've seen those, yeah.
This is cool.
Ah,
Now I
That's
recognize
all
it.
coming clear.
I didn't know it was arts and crafts too.
Yes, I didn't know. Yeah.
Did he like it? No worms.
Ah,
What is
kinda-
this?
Ah,
It's a
Pretty
baby
cool.
ring.
Baby
hanger.
ring, he
That's
said.
the
We never
anchor.
got it, so we don't know yet.
you have to pay a lot of attention to this.
This is a very bad baby ring.
You know.
All right.
Because
Not that we can tell.
I didn't have, I
Looks
didn't have
good.
my,
Great from you.
I didn't have my
Thank you.
measurements exactly right. Now there's something that someone used to manufacture called a wire former. And you could make beautiful stuff because it was a handle with 3 posts on it, and you stuck the wire in there and bend it, and you could bend it by increments. Okay, this needs to be much closer in, so we'll hold it.
Sterile.
Okay.
Yeah, don't
You
cut one
do.
orchid with the same thing you
You'll
cut
hold
another
that
orchid.
up.
You might.
Usually they're a little bigger, and you
doesn't
can put
happen
them
in my
on from the
house.
bottom of
Mess
the
it up.
pot because they have a bigger diameter.
Oh.
And this way you train your orchid. We missed one here.
Oh, we're not good at that. We aren't good at
Because these
training.
will tend to go out sideways, right?
Yes, yes.
Usually. Yeah. I
Okay.
had this problem. I didn't know about the baby ring thing.
Now
Use a
you
whip and a
know.
chain.
That's why
and
you
a
go to
chair,
workshops.
Okay, I've got a problem. Well, you need to turn it around.
Hang on, Paul.
Turn
Let me-
the whole thing
hold it
around.
right there. Let me just see the baby ring. There you go. There you go. Okay.
I'll put these videos up on the garden site thing too.
Exciting! Oh my goodness. All right. Cool.
Now I can
Training wheels.
I can show you how to make a hanger for this, but it absolutely needs to be heavier material because it's not going to hold the pot. No, it's sitting here.
And that one back there's thinner, right?
Yeah, that's a thinner.
Yeah, that was
We had
thinner.
that's the kind we had
What
too.
if you were to thread through these holes?
You could
That's
do
my
that,
cheap
but then you take a
Yeah,
chance
yeah.
of damaging the roots if it blows around and that wiggles.
That's true, you'd probably have to do it first.